Welcome back to the channel, guys. So it's been a while since I posted, and the car's had its ups and downs in the last couple of weeks, and I just want to share with you guys some of the things that happened, and also share some new upgrades that we got going on. So let's check it out. So I had an issue where I heard a light ticking sound coming from the driver's side head, and I'll add a clip here. At first I thought it was a lifter issue, so I started to investigate. I went ahead and tightened all the exhaust bolts. I was hoping it was as simple as an exhaust leak, but I couldn't find it. I went ahead and pulled the valve covers, checked all the rockers, everything seemed fine. I went ahead and pulled the rockers off, pulled the push rods off, and I found one that was slightly warped. So I was hoping that was the issue. I'll add a clip here of the bent push rod. So after determining that rod was bent, I went ahead and ordered a brand new set of BTR Chromoly Pushrods, and just standard size. And I went ahead and swapped them in, and unfortunately the issue stayed the same. I'm happy that I replaced that one bent push rod, but it wasn't the fix. So I was really concerned. I was immediately looking for a heads and cam package, because I figured I was gonna have to pull the heads and replace that lifter. And I didn't think I was going to want to replace it with a factory lifter just to have the same issue happen again. So just in my downtime while doing research on heads and cams, I decided to take a stethoscope and put it to the cylinder head, and I put it on each one of the rockers, and I just wanted to listen to see what that valve train noise really sounded like. And actually I couldn't find a difference from each one of the rockers from cylinder to cylinder. So at that point, I immediately knew it wasn't going to be a lifter. It wasn't a valve train issue. So I pulled that exhaust manifold off and found that the gasket that came with my speed engineering kit failed. And I'll put a picture of what it looked like here. My resolution to this problem was just using the original two-piece metal gasket that came with the OEM header. I just swapped it in, torqued down the bolts, and we were good to go. So problem solved. And I was able to add on some aftermarket push rods. The upgrade to the push rods maybe wasn't necessary, but there was one that was bent, so I'm happy I did replace it. But overall, I'm happy I don't have to dive into heads and cams right now, because I'm happy with the way the car is right now, and I just need more grip. So speaking of that, I got a new upgrade for the car. Let's check it out. So here we have it, my new tire upgrade. So these are some 17 by 10 4-star F14 wheels. I have them wrapped with these Mickey Thompson ET Street R tires. So a buddy of mine on Instagram had these 4-star F14 rims for sale, used, and they're in really good shape. This is just some of that tire lubrication they put on when mounting. The rims were in really good shape, and he had them for a good deal, so I went ahead and snagged them from him. And I was looking for some meat to wrap around these rims. So I went with these Mickey Thompson ET Street Rs. Now these are a drag radial, and they are not a bias ply tire. Even though I am in a manual transmission car, a bias ply would technically be better, assuming that you're going to be taking this car to the track all the time. But I do intend on using these tires for street use, for roll races, and other kind of hooning, I guess you could say. So that's why I went with the radial, so I would have just a slightly stiffer carcass. So this is going to be swapped on and off when I'm trying to drive the car aggressively in a straight line. But hopefully these are going to resolve my traction issue in first and second gear that I seem to have. So let's go ahead and get these tires on, and let's check out the fitment. Went ahead and got the factory wheel off and brought out the scale. I want to compare this 305 30 20 tire and rim to this 305 45 17 with just your overall new setup. I just want to compare the weights and see what we're looking at. So let's take a look. All right, comparing this factory rim, 56.2 pounds is what this scale is reading. Let's try this other one. All right, let's check out this Mickey Thompson setup. $50.6 pounds. So we're definitely saving a little bit of weight on both the tires and rim setup. You can see I just made enough clearance with the 17s. Now that they're on and the car's on the ground, I'm gonna go ahead and torque these to spec. They're at 140 foot-pounds. So here it is, mounted and car back on the ground, and it don't look too bad. A lot of people don't like the mixed match wheels, but I try to find something that was similar to the front in terms of color and style, and also on a budget, obviously. Here's the fitment from the side. I'm sure once I start to drive the car, it'll settle a little bit better. All right, so there you have it. Got the new tires on the car. Hopefully I can start running some better 60 to 130s. I can start doing pulls in first gear, because first gear was useless before with those Mission and Pilot Sports. I'm really happy with the way the car looks. It's sitting the way I thought it would. This is about a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch taller than the 305 30/20 setup. Not tall enough for me to need to relocate the harness, and hopefully I don't have to in the future. Hopefully I don't run into that problem. We're gonna go ahead and start doing some test runs. I'm gonna wash the car first, and then I'm gonna start doing some 60 to 130 test runs and seeing the kind of difference I'm getting as far as timing, and see what kind of grip difference I'm getting in first gear. So hard to see, but I got the tires on, car's washed, and I'm just gonna take it for a quick cruise just to get a feel for the car. So next morning, took the car for a cruise last night just to get a feel for the tires, and the car drove really well. Put the car in touring mode, so the suspension was a lot softer. The car was able to settle, so it just looks a little bit better here. The wheel well. There's not so big of a gap anymore. But I'm pretty happy with the way the tires turned out. The car was dead hooking from first gear last night, and I'm hoping to try out the tires and see what kind of launches I can get. So I've had the drag pack on for a day now. Test drove it last night and did a couple test pulls this morning, and I'm pretty happy with the way the car is driving. I have the car in tour mode right now, so the suspension is a little softer. I got a little bit more rebound. So the car is definitely swaying a little bit more than it normally does. You know, I got the thicker sidewall, softer tire, and the softer suspension, but the setup is really nice because the car is just hooking and booking. It's basically doing everything I wanted to do. So tomorrow we're gonna try to do some draggy testing and try to get some new 60 to 130 numbers, and maybe 0 to 60. I don't know if I'm ready to launch this car yet. Don't want to grenade the differential, but right now I'm gonna let the car sit on the tires overnight. I have them aired up to 28 or 29 PSI each. From what I hear, it's fine just to do that for a day or two. You know, I'll be learning the characteristics of these tires soon enough, and I'll figure out whether or not leaving them on the car for a couple of days at a time is going to cause soft spots even at this high pressure at 28, 29 psi or even more. Looking forward to tomorrow's pulls. Hopefully I can improve on my 60 to 130 time. Last time I got a 9.3 60 to 130, and that was without using no lift shift, and I was spinning in second and on the 2-3 shift. So hopefully we can make some improvements on those numbers. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right guys, so we're back after a day of more testing, and I'm basically ready to put these tires back on the car. The drag pack for the rear did well. I'm not that happy with the 60 to 130 times, but I'm pretty sure that's due to the ethanol content. I don't a content reader, so I couldn't tell you what percentage my car is at right now. The flex fuel sensor just runs and adjusts as it needs depending on whatever the content is. I'm definitely happy with the way the car is pulling in first gear off a dig, the way that it's hooking in second gear as well. It's definitely making a big difference. I can definitely feel it. It feels faster even though the time is not showing it. I know that I'm definitely slingshotting out of the hole much better than when I was on these Michelins. But until I get a content reader, I really don't know what exact fuel I'm running. So that definitely varies a lot. It could be, you know, easily a 15, 20, 30 horsepower difference depending on what that content level is. So we're gonna go ahead and swap these tires back on. Get the factory wheel set up back on the car. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with the drag pack. The car is hooking from first. I have no spinning in second or on the 2-3 shift like I was having before. The car is actually slower based off my 60 to 130, but I'm pretty sure that's just due to the ethanol content. My first run, I ran a 9.7, and I'll post a video here. And on my second run, I ran a 9.5 or so, and I'll upload this video here. So the differences between both runs was a new batch of E85, and I switched from touring suspension back to track suspension because the car was kind of tracking a little bit. So my buddy Will let me borrow his draggy, so over the next couple of weeks I'm going to try to get some updated runs. Like I said, the ethanol content definitely varies the kind of power that I'm putting down. I don't have an ethanol content reader, so I'm just going based off whatever the pump is throwing at me. It can go from E50 to E90 for all I know. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with the way the car is running. I was able to keep up with the leader bike that had intake, exhaust, and a tune. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with the way the car is running. Can't complain, the car is quick enough. And I have these set of Michelins that are on the car now for my autocross, road course, and cruising events, you know. And I'll just throw on the Mickey Thompsons whenever I want to go in a straight line aggressively. There's definitely more videos coming up. Got an autocross event coming up in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned, and thank you guys for watching.